Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Mormon Atheist. Okay, so we're going to recap today's events. So we are in far west Missouri. We are looking at Mormon historical sites. So these Mormon historical sites that we have visited today, I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a recap here of them. So, first of all, we visited the temple in far west Missouri. Okay, so there is no temple there. There's no temple standing there, but there are cornerstones, and there's a 3-panel giant wall. I did a video earlier today. I've been I did, and that was the temple video. I did it in the temple. I was there in the morning, and there was nobody there. It was really quite nice. There was nobody there, so it was just me, and I got to hang out by myself there for you know about 2 or 3 hours maybe. So then next we went to Hans Mills. So Hans Mills, I I have to say I'm extremely disappointed in all of these sites. Okay, very lackluster. I was expecting much more, and I base that on the church, right? Of just what they represent and stuff, right? And then you go to their sites, and these are supposed to be, founding, founding sites, right? These are important sites, but you have to travel down 2.5 miles of dirt road to get to them. You understand? It's kind of an amazing thing, right? Like it's so opposite. um in my first video, I talk about how I couldn't find anybody to talk to, right? So there's a general store is what it's called. um I posted some pictures of it in my community. You can go to my community spot and look at them, uh, uh, to get the full name. I'm tired right now, so my brain is kind of, I have that tired drive feeling, right? Where you've been driving all day and you're just like, you can't think, all that stuff, right? So, um, anyways, so I was talking to the people at the general store, because the general store is also the historical society. Okay, so I'm talking to them, and they're telling me these stories and stuff like that, and I'm thinking to myself, geez, these stories don't add up. They're not the same. They're not the same stories. Um, oh, my brain. I'll think of it here in a second. My brain just completely went blank when I was going to tell you the story. But, um, anyways, now I'm trying to remember the story. So, anyways, back to Hans Mills. While I'm trying to think of that story. So, Hans Mills is a complete empty field. There's nothing there. There's no plaques that says this is what it used to look like. This is where this was. This is where this was. There's literally nothing there. It's an empty field. So is what is there is some guys mowing the yard, right? Well, I mean, I'm talking, this is a pretty large field, right? It's pretty massive size. Okay. And these guys, there's four guys, or well, actually there was four guys and a woman, all in riding lawnmowers, mowing this this empty field. So I asked one of them, and two guys had weed eaters, so 5, 6, 7. So there were 7 people out there. That's how large this field is. It took 7 people to mow this yard. Um, So I'm talking to one of the guys, and he just points in the general direction, and he says, "Over there is where the well is at." And the well is what he means is in the Hans Mill massacre, they uh, dumped a bunch of bodies in the well, right? And so that's the story of the well, right? You can do your church history, and you can get more in depth into that. So I go, "Well, where is it at?" And he says, "Oh, nobody knows." And I go, "Well, then how do you know it's over there?" And he goes, "Well, I think they got GPS or something like that." And I I go, "Oh, so they know." Excuse me, my voice. I'm losing my voice for some reason. So I says, "Oh, so they know, just we don't know." And he started laughing, and he put his head down. And he says, "Yeah, something like that." And he just walks away. Now you have to remember that these are elders. Okay, for those of you that don't know, pretty much all maintenance workers are for the church, are members of the church, right? So normally, I don't want to say always, but normally they're getting free labor, right? The church is getting free labor. Okay. And so these guys, it takes them days to mow this yard, and then once they're done, they got to do it all over again because the grass grows so fast here. Like, this place is grassy. And so Hans Mills was a complete disappointment. When I first pulled up, I thought, you know what, there should be kids out here playing soccer because it's as flat as a pancake. There's no disturbance in any of the soil. There's no, like, it's flat as a pancake, and like it, like, it's just amazing. There's no, mounds of dirt, or there's no, like, I mean, it's just amazing that you could actually believe the story that there used to be something like a mill, something like a mill sitting there, right? There's no foundations, there's no nothing, there's no anything, there's nothing. It's literally flat. Okay, so next we went to, where'd we go to next? Next I went to the graveyard. So I went to Richmond, Missouri, because that is where Oliver Cowdery is supposed to be buried. I am a big fan of Oliver Cowdery, and if you watch my other videos, so, you know, going to that cemetery where he is supposed to be buried, allegedly he is buried in that cemetery. Um, According to church history and according to church sources, Oliver Cowdery is supposed to be in that cemetery, and he's not there. And I did a video on it, Oliver Cowdery and David Whitmer's burial site. I actually walked through the cemetery, right? Um, yeah, and there's no David or Cowdery. That place. Again, Oliver has fingertips. Um, So I was definitely in the right place. You watch that video, and you cannot say I was not in the right place. So yeah, I was in the right place. Um, so so far, I have to tell you, Apostate Congregation, like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Um, I went to the Adam Madoni place also. I went to the Adam Madoni place. That place is, again, you guys do your own searches on this stuff. Uh, the Adam Madoni place is supposed to be where Adam and Eve had an altar, and that's where they did sacrifices. Well, I went there, and it's it's just the top of a hill, right? and then there's the trees. There's no trees on like the very top of the hill, and so there's a patch of grass in the center, like on the very top of the hill. Okay, but if you look at this area, right, there's literally nothing special about this, other than the fact that that's kind of a cool thing that there's no trees and the sun shines through right there and there's a patch of grass. Yeah, and obviously that grass, the grass that's there right now, 100% obviously is planted. So that's definitely planted grass, but there's natural in there too, right? And so, um, that's been there for a long time. So, anyways, it was a beautiful place. I got to say, it was a very beautiful place. I did not film there though. I did try to make a little film, but it was so windy, and these places are out in the middle of absolute nowhere. So, and I'm using my phone, so there's not great reception, right? So the Adonai place and the Hans Mill one are very breaky. I think the Adonai one is only like 6 seconds long because it just cuts out. And so, um, anyways, I didn't think it was appropriate to film at the Adam Adonai place. Ondai, Adonai, Ondai. I don't know. I say Adonai because uh, if you guys have done your Jewish angel lore research, you'll know who Adonai is. Um, so yeah, and it's on the parchment, Adonai. So you guys know about the parchment. So where else did we go? Yeah. So, anyways, I didn't think it was appropriate to film there because there's everybody's. There were like 7 busloads of people there, and all of them were like sitting in the grass praying or up against a tree praying, or you could tell that that was not the time. That was not the time to do that, right? So that it would I felt like it would have been inappropriate to film while that's happening there, right? Because that's a place of worship, regardless if you believe or not. Apostates, we're, that's not us. We don't do stuff like that. You respect, right? You don't, even if you don't believe, you still respect. Okay. So um and you don't always get the same love in return, but you still respect. Do unto others, right? The golden rule. That applies to us also. Do unto others as you would have done unto you, right? Treat people how you, right? So, what else? Right now, I am in Liberty, Missouri. Okay. We're going tomorrow. So, I went to the jail. I went to Liberty Jail today. There was only like 15 minutes left until they closed. Um, they were doing a tour, and bless the woman's heart, I didn't get her name, but I would assume it's her and her husband because I believe that's how these things work. Right. They were an older couple, in like their 70s or 80s, something like that. uh she did offer to give me a tour, and I was like, well, there's only 15 minutes left, and there's and they were in the middle last tour of she still off the tour. She and she was, she was like, want to hurry up, and I was like, no, 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 it's okay. I was like, gosh, I was just kind of, just seeing if there was anything I could look at. And further how much of just an absolute hoax Mormonism is. Okay. And this is the Liberty Jail I'm talking about. And this is from their own words of just the 15 minutes I was there. I haven't even taken the tour yet. I'm taking the tour tomorrow morning. So yeah, that's just the yeah, that's just the jail, man. It was 15 minutes of being there. So then I have not made my way to Independence yet. This map at the general store. I asked the lady, I said, okay, from here, should I start? Which direction should I go? So I'm not crossing the state, going all over hell and back, finding these places. She says, oh, well, here, you're right here. And your first stop is you're going to want to go here. So I went there. And then I said, okay, well, where's the next one? So I had her actually like lay out like which ones I should go. So I'm, kind of following a line, right? Dude, I'm all over hell. Each way, right? These places are very spread out. They're not. So that's these things are literally like 50 miles away from each other, right? 30 miles away from each other. And they're like, this is everyday life stuff, right? And so like, we're led to believe in 2024 that, this was like just down the road, yeah, I mean, it just makes it kind of like more of an implausibility of how far apart these places are, right? It takes me 2 hours to drive here, so you got to remember these guys are on foot and horses and horse and buggies, and we're told that this is like everyday life stuff. So it just makes you wonder. It makes me wonder anyways. It makes me scratch my head and think, how plausible is this stuff? When I show up on these sites and there's an empty field. There's no plaques, there's no pictures, there's literally nothing. In the front corner of Hans Mills, there's a double-sided sign that says Hans Mills, and that's it. And then the guy in like the 1940s or something like that, somebody in front of a tree put like a rock. It's just a rock. And that is the guy says that is the only thing there that is in any form in memorandum, or this is the Hans Mill massacre, folks. There's no memorandum, there's no pictures, there's no placards, there's no visitor sign, there's literally nothing. It's a 2.5 mile dirt road to get to it. It's amazing. Same thing with the Adam Ondi place. It's 1.5 miles dirt road. And then you get there and it's a garden. I mean, I'm glad I didn't bring my family or something like that with me and like make this a family trip. I would actually be pissed. I'd be like, dude, this is like such a waste of money. This is such a waste of money, man. Like, seriously, I would be mad. Because there's nothing to look at. You're going on a trip to look at a garden, literally a garden. You're going on a trip to look at a garden in an empty field, right? What a cliche of Mormonism, right? An empty field. That's all Mormonism is. Empty fields. Empty fields of dreams, baby. Empty fields of dreams. Right? So, all right. Well, that's kind of the recap of today. We went to the Adam Adonai place, Hans Mill, the temple. What was the other one? Adam Adonai, Hans Mill, the temple. The cemetery. And then earlier today, there was a place in Nebraska that I was in that was called Mormon Island. And that was a fun place. You know, that was the temperature there. But again, there's nothing to look at. You're just RV park. But, you know, it's more like a tourist place. Like you're being sold a tour guide. You know, hey, this is where this is at. But oh, hey, there's nothing there but feel the spirit. Feel that burning in your bosom, right? Feel that burning in your bosom because you know that's all you need. And there's literally nothing there. There's literally nothing there. What a sales tactic. What a sales pitch, man. What a sales pitch. I mean, these guys are genius. If you think of it like that, these guys are absolute guys are selling you guys a bullshit bag of goods and you're freely just doling out the cash. It's fascinating to me. It is so fascinating to me. I should have been a guru. I should have been a guru, man. Jeez Louise. So, all right. I've gone on enough about today. Like I said, tomorrow we're going to be, I'm going to be talking about the jail. Um, Obviously I cannot video inside Liberty Jail. So, those of you that are just tuning in, we are in, Liberty, Missouri, looking at Mormon artifacts. We were in Far West earlier and we went to the temple. We went to Hans Mill. We went to Oliver Cowdery's gravesite. And there's no gravesite of Oliver Cowdery. So once again, he has slipped through my finger to find Oliver Cowdery. So we're just proving all these sites. As the Mormon Atheist what these are. Right? Hans Mill was just an empty field. There was nothing there. There's no plaques. There's no signs. There's no nothing. It's just an empty field. Oliver Cowdery's grave. There's no Oliver Cowdery there. I looked. The last video there I did one on. We actually walked through the grave, the site, right? And there's no Oliver Cowdery or David Whitmer. And those are the official church sites of both of those guys. That's where they're supposed to be at, is in that cemetery, and they're not there. So, Mormonism is not real. And so we are here in Far West Missouri and Liberty. Tomorrow we're going to do a video about Liberty, and then we're going to Independence. And we're going to check out what's in Independence. So, yeah, that's what the Mormon Atheist is bringing, folks. That's what the Mormon Atheist is bringing. We're taking you to the sources. We want to know what the sources say. And there's no better way. There's no better way to find out the sources than to go directly to the sources. So we went to the sources and we didn't find nothing. Isn't that something? Right? All right, guys. You guys all have a good night. I will see you tomorrow, and we will be talking Liberty City Jail. All right, Apostate Congregation, like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys tomorrow.